large mass something about Brother Huey P. Newton, a black man that I've been knowing for about 8 years, a black man who first introduced me to what black nationalism was all about. A black man that I have been closely associated with for the last 3 years in the organizing of a black people's party on a level that dealt with black people's problems. To explain to you who Brother Huey P. Newton is in his soul, I got to explain to you also your soul, your needs, your political desires and needs, because that is Huey's soul. You know, I met Huey, and he told me...
Hey, what's going on, Tamika?
...that he first learned how to read real good.
I've been hanging in there. They've been tearing my ass up, but...
One of these counselors
I'm hanging in there.
Couldn't be college material. Well, Huey got
I
mad.
hope you've been good. I hope everything's been good with you.
No white man telling him what he couldn't do. And Huey learned how to read. And Huey went to Oakland City College, and I went right there with him. And Huey got a 4.0, that's an A in sociology, psychology, political science,
Excuse me. It's legitimate. For anybody tuning in, just listen to what the guy's saying. Listen to what he's saying. It's it pertains to us as well. Just take the race issue out of it and put our situation in place of the race issue. I'm glad to hear that. I'm blessed. I'm moving, man. Oh, that's what's up. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Happy for you. Hell yeah, that's what's up.
It's a basic platform that the mothers who struggle hard to raise us, that the fathers who worked hard,
yeah, that's
the young
definitely good to hear.
Who come out of school semi-illiterate, reading broken words. He said, this is on a basic platform to outline black people's basic political desires and needs. First, so we sit down. He would say, we want freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our black community. Number 2, we want full employment for our people. Number 3, we want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Number 4, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. Number 5, we want decent education for our black people in our community that teaches us the true nature of this decadent racist society, and to teach black people and our young black brothers and sisters their place in the society, because if they don't know this place...
This ain't no place you want to be. This ain't no place you want to be.
Want an end to the robbery.
It's crazy. You find some place where the gang banging and all that shit ain't really so bad. You know, it ain't like gunshots every fucking night and shit. And you get there and it's a bunch of these fucking weirdos and shit. Like, you can't win for losing. You can't win for losing around this motherfucker.
Federal jails and prisons to be released because they have not had a fair trial, because they've been tried by all white juries, and that's just like being tried in Germany being a Jew. We want black people, number 9, when brought to trial, to be tried by members of their peers. And peers means one comes from the same economic...
Yeah, they're good now. You know, every now and then the police and their little fucking Tesla Prius riding goons be shooting frequencies. It fucks, it fucks with scrap real bad. I think it's because where his chip is placed and shit, like it's doing something to him. When they shoot the frequencies, he soaks that shit up in a bad way. But other than that, they're good. That shit, it wears off of them in like a couple days and shit. But like the last time they did it, like I literally, or the last 2 times they did it, I literally had to nurse him back. It's like whatever they're shooting at him and shit is breaking him down like real slowly. I noticed too, like when he takes his number 2, it's not like the regular size. It comes out like a string almost. It's like he can't he's not pushing out his bowel movements regularly. They're coming out like real thin, and it's like that seems to be hard for him to get out. So I don't know what type of shit. Like it's probably fucking up his insides as well.
Articulated to brothers on the block, and he articulated in a manner where they
I hate these motherfuckers. See these weirdos? They just get out the car. Look at.
How in fact
So I could see him touching his butt and shit. Little weirdo.
The black community began to show black people how we can defend ourselves on point number 7. Now, the papers
look at him like they plotting or some shit.
And thugs.
See him touching his butt?
Smart brother Huey is.
You see this shit?
He says, now the paper's gonna call us thugs and hoodlums. A lot of people ain't gonna know what's happening. He said, but the brothers on the block, who the man been calling thugs and hoodlums for 400 years, gonna say them some out of sight thugs and hoodlums up there.
A bunch of soft ass gangsters. Soft ass rap motherfuckers. And they're not even real rats. They're like fucking entrapment fucking piece of shit motherfuckers. I'm glad to hear they're good, but it's a shame that these cops are evil, doing things to our family, messed up stuff, and they play the victim when we are not. Yeah, exactly. But they get theirs. You see what happened at the VTA. They get theirs eventually. Like we don't. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's really sad. Hey, what's going on, Mo? Yeah, it's some sad shit.
Shoot it out with 1,000 policemen. No, this wasn't a court case at all. This wasn't a case at all. On the contrary, every black man.
If you listen to some of these like the Black Panthers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You take all the racism out of it, and you just put the government in place. Even though the racism is a thing, but for our situation, you just put the government in place for what they were saying, man. Like everything they're saying like is completely on point. Even as far as like, you know, how we how we sat idle and let them fucking snatch everything from up under us, like Black Wall Street, and you know, to the point to where like, you know, we don't have our own communities like every other nationality has their own community and shit, and we're like the only ones that don't have our. We're so fucked up. We're fucking killing like they've brainwashed us to like, and that's because we literally fucking let them and shit. Like we let them, and it's the government. Like the government has fucking. You think of all the shiesty shit you keep hearing about the government doing, like dropping those Walmart containers, like having Walmart trucks sit on the side of the road and shit with nobody in them, and trapping people to run up in them and steal the shit. And it's like we continue to let these motherfuckers come into the community and fucking set up booby traps on us, and nobody fucking says or does anything, and it just fucking becomes a way of life, and everything else is forgotten. Now we're killing each other left and fucking right. It just, man, it's the same shit with this targeting and shit. Like, you know, if we continue to sit and let this shit go on, you know, there's no choice. It has no fucking choice except to fucking thrive and evolve. We are at war, no justice, no peace. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's sad too, man.
Revolution means that we got to get down to nitty gritty and change this situation that we in, and don't miss any nits or any grits. That's very, very important. All the time. We also struggle to show you that it wasn't only the cops, but we had to deal with many other things, like a street light at Market and 55th Street. 3 kids coming from Washington School had been killed 2 years prior. We got with the poverty program, there got to be a street light here. And if there don't be a street light out here, the Panthers gonna get right out here and we're gonna direct traffic. They say, well, you're tired of traffic. The traffic just gonna get tied up. Our little kids ain't gonna get killed. We shot a petition in conjunction with members of the area there to the city council, and they sent something back talking about, well, we can't put one up to late 1968. Said, no, we're going to have to change this situation now. We're going to the streets. Well, the street light is up early 1968 now. They don't like the Panthers messing with them no kind of way. You dig? I'm saying that these programs have to involve not only the members of the Black Panther Party, they have to involve you as a whole. That when the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense starts coming to the black community and starts knocking on your doors and starts leaving you literature and giving you information, factual information on this racist, decadent system and running it down, when the Black Panther Party comes to your doors and leaves information concerning the fact that our black brothers has got to be set free, we want you to come down to the local defense fund committee.
They love the noise campaign, showed up.
Working the Black Panther Party, you're going to be doing the same thing, because the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is also working in conjunction with the Huey P. Newton Defense Fund. It's all together. Every last one black person in here has got to stand up right now and say he's a member of the Defense Fund, the Legal Defense Fund for Huey P. Newton. Now, I want to see how many black people are going to stand up now. Let's free Huey. I give you a hand. I'm going to give you a hand. You're the hero.
Remember, take the race out of it. Excuse me, that's legitimate. All the targeted individuals locked up and shit right now. Like, we need to be advocating for them and shit.
We're going to have some unity here. We're going to have some unity behind Brother Huey P. Newton, because Huey was trying to unify us to solve all of our problems. Huey was for us. The man has got Huey chained up. Watch where I point my finger. Did you see the building over there? Right in back, he's chained up in jail. Right across the street. When we announce Huey's court date appearances, you be there for an hour or hour and a half and show us standing support that we should have Huey P. Newton set free. Be there, brothers and sisters, and tell your friends and explain to black people what Huey P. Newton was doing with the Black Panther Party Self-Defense, what kind of organization it was. Let people know that it is necessary that we must unify on all levels. In all the areas of oppression, we must deal with them. That right here in the confines of racist America, racism must be stopped. When the man walks up and says that we were anti-white, I scratch my head. I say, yes, he do say we anti-white. What does he mean by that? He says, well, I mean, you hate white people. I say, me? Hate a white person? I say, wait a minute, man, let's back up a little bit. That's your game. That's the Ku Klux Klan's game. I say, that is the Ku Klux Klan's game, to hate me and murder me because of the color of my skin. I say, I wouldn't murder a person or brutalize because of the color of skin. I say, yeah, we hate something, all right. We hate the oppression that we live in. We hate cops beating black people over their heads and murdering them. That's what we hate. If you got enough energy to sit down and hate a white person just because of the color of his skin, you're wasting a lot of energy. You better take that same energy and put it in some motion out there and start dealing with those oppressive conditions, and you're going to find out just what you hate and what you're going to stop. Black people, we are organizing to stop racism. You dig it? When you stop racism, you stop brutality and murder of black people by the racist occupying army in our black community. That's what we're going to stop. What's being done to us? You dig it? Can you dig the white power structure and this racist police force and how they've escalated the situation? That before white there was 1,300 cops, now there's 6,000 cops patrolling black people. That in Oakland they had 350 cops. Just 3.5 years ago, now they got 1,000 cops patrolling black people. San Francisco's doubled its police force. In every area, major metropolis where black people live all across this country, they've doubled, tripled, and quadrupled their police force, equipped them with tanks, all kinds. We got to stop it, brother. Let's get together and unify. Brother Huey was concerned about the nation and the survival of black people. That's why tonight, in your standing support, we are all going to be concerned about him. I saw a picture in the paper where it said one sister had a sign that says, come see about Huey. And so every court date, I want everybody in this house to come see about Huey at that courthouse, because we're going to free him. Free Huey, come on. Free Huey. Free Huey. Free Huey. Free Huey! Free Huey! Now, before we go any further, there's some sisters here. There's a lot more things I want to say to you. Maybe I should say a few more things to you. Maybe I should give some more information. Yeah, I feel inadequate not doing that. I do really feel inadequate not doing that. Yeah, let's get on down to nitty-gritty like I said. And I'm going to get the grits too, brother. Come on, and I'm with you.
Look. Let's go into a little detail. When a young black man comes out of any one of these high schools around here, he's not taught. Now watch how this power structure is tricky. One iota about the white man's law. Then he plasters on TV that we supposed to respect the law. Then some racist cop, who Brother Carmichael hipped me to how the racist cops have come into this situation up here, because he says all down the post offices, all down south.
I'm playing this speech. So try and take the race out of what he said and replace it with our situation and shit. Like everything he's saying is pretty much on point. It's like literally the shit we need to be doing, man. I mean, to get off this, to get out this.
They got brochures announcing jobs for cops in Oakland and San Francisco and Los Angeles, all these racist pigs up here. See, and this same pig that comes from way down there, and also coming up here with his other brothers who've been up here, getting together on the streets and walks up to a young black man and says, boy or nigga, where you going? And the cop either reaches for his billy club or reaches for his pistol, and the brother don't see no respect for him as a human being. What else can the brother do at that point but say, man, if you hit me with that club, I'm sorry, I ain't going for it. You see, now look what happens here. The brother winds up busted. He gets put in jail. You read some junk in the paper. One occasion or another, either he's killed or murdered. He allegedly was burglarizing something, which is a bunch of bunk. That's the way the cops cover up their story. Or he assaulted me, the cops say, and it's passed off. But we got to learn to see through what's happening out there. When we go to the courts, where this brother that got busted, you walk up in municipal court, and I know a lot of y'all been out there. Walk up in there, you know what you see in that court? 90% black people, and the other ones who ain't black are poor whites and our Mexican brothers. You catch it? You catch it? These cops are not in Piedmont brutalizing and intimidating white people. They are not in the Berkeley Hills brutalizing and intimidating white people. They are down in the black ghetto, where our communities are, where we have to have power to determine the destiny of our own community. Why shouldn't we have our own police station where we set up operations and organizations through the churches and everything else to choose our own policemen? Because when we choose our own policeman and we make the rule that that policeman have to live in our community, he ain't gonna be brutalizing too much if he have to come back home and sleep that night. This is the teachings of the Minister of Defense of the Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton. This is his teachings. They're basic. And here, whether you know it or not, is where you start dealing with the black revolution. When Huey says every black man put a shotgun in your home, do you remember about the Smith family and how the cops raided the home of the Smith family? Do you remember how one of his sons had a white friend who came down to a basement there where they had a pool table, and he just walked in with the other with this black Smith family, and he had a white friend who walked down there, and some cops saw him go down there, so these cops all got together, radioed up some more cops, and busted in the house. They said they thought it was prostitution. You know what they did? They walked in the house on a man, his wife, and his children, brutalized and beat the whole family up from child to mother to father, broken arms, crushed skulls, and then the cops turn around and charge an unarmed family with assault on a police officer. What kind of crap is that? That's why a black man needs a shotgun in his home. It's very important. You understand what I'm talking about? This is very, very important for us to recognize. And that once when we organize in this fashion, right there in our homes, we talk about power in our communities, to control our communities, you know? And once we let the man know, say, look, we armed from block to block, we're going to patrol you from our windows. And we're not going to have you brutalizing none of our people in the streets. Do you realize what kind of power black people have then? Because you begin to neutralize that police force, because them cops going to start riding shaky and scared. In fact, we're in a position then to demand that they withdraw from our community because they occupy our community just like a foreign troop occupies territory. Very important to understand. This is the political teachings of Brother Huey. And you see how basic it is? It's not hard to understand at all. Every time the power structure makes a political decision upon any group of people, if the people disagree with the political decision that the power structure has made upon them, then the power structure gets guns and force and billy clubs and starts doubling and tripling police force and National Guard to make you accept those political decisions made when you try to disagree. The Vietnamese have had political decisions made upon them in their country and they've disagreed with them. So they said, no, we're going to defend ourselves right here on our own land and we want you to withdraw from our land. Now, all we got to do is we can parallel the situation when we see all these racist cops off in our black community the way they are. But remember, that's only 0.7 of the program. But here is the key in terms of dealing with what the real power is. Power starts here. When people try to say that green power is where it's at, let me hip you to something that Brother Huey P. Newton knew. He said during the Civil War, there was a North and there was a South. The North had Yankee money, green power supposedly, and the South had Confederate money, green power on that end supposedly. He said, but when the North outmaneuvered the South, and the North had all the guns, they said, your money ain't no more good. You don't even have no so-called green power. So I'm saying that the money is only a tool by which you manipulate the power. That's all. The real power is manifested in the police forces, the National Guardsmen, these racists who come down to occupy black people in the community, to maintain the oppression, to try to make us stoop. But we in our homes, and I'm saying every black brother in this house, every last one of you, put a shotgun in your home. Put a shotgun in your home. It's necessary. We will begin to deal in politics that way. Because Huey also says that politics is war without bloodshed. But war is politics with bloodshed. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty here and see what's happening here. A contradiction between a group of people, or might we say contradictions, disagreements, etc. You have two kinds of contradictions. Antagonistic contradictions where there's fighting and where there's bloodshed, and you have non-antagonistic contradictions where there's arguing and debating. Now, I'm pretty sure that black people would prefer to have, in dealing with politics, non-antagonistic contradictions. But what's happened here? When the man escalates his police forces and doubles and triples them, and murdering black people in their community and shooting them down, that ain't non-antagonistic. That's very antagonistic because he's shedding our blood. He has made war upon us. This is very, very important to understand where politics lies. We desire, by defending ourselves and our community, by every man putting a shotgun in his home, we desire non-antagonistic contradictions. But we must defend ourselves. So when those cops come in the community and get down wrong, the first law is the law of survival. This is where it's at. We must organize. We must respect the gun in a fashion that it's the man behind the gun who's dangerous. And there are thousands and thousands of cops in this country who are very, very dangerous towards the black community. So let's come to the surface and think. Let's come up to the surface of the whole situation. Black people in this country, war has been made upon them. Black people don't sit down and say, oh, nothing's going to happen and hope nothing's going to happen. Don't sit down and let a spontaneous riot happen in the streets. where we get corralled and a lot of us are shot up unorganized. When I say spontaneous, black people organize. And black leaders, you got them up here. I'm only trying to contribute to the leadership. I was forced out here and it's necessary for me to do it, and I'm going to do my job. I'm saying that black leaders will get up and let the political power structure know where it's at and the changes we want, and that if that doesn't happen, then you will cause the political consequence in an organized fashion. The man doesn't have us outnumbered, he has us out organized. Come on now. Come up to the surface. Now, let's go back to our brother Huey concerning the situation. I'm going to ask you, brothers and sisters, now. We have sisters in the audience. All right, brothers and sisters, I want to say this here.
Free shit with targeted individuals. We're not outnumbered, man. We're just out organized, man.
Huey and black power, and you are the power. The black power to free Huey. So let's stand together. Let's free Huey. I want to thank you.
Brothers and sisters. Chairman of the Black.
Yeah. I hope everybody's doing good, though. I just wanted to play that shit so people could see, like, you know, it's basically the same situation, different group of people. Different group of people. They have us stuck sitting down, not fighting for our motherfucking rights and shit. Scared to fight for our rights because of their bullying and their threatening and shit. It's like we gotta break up out of that. Because as long as we continue to let it happen, it's gonna keep happening. You know, it might not happen right away when we stand up and fight for the shit, but eventually something's gonna happen. This program can't stay in place like this. Like, it's no way that this program can be allowed to fucking stay in place like this. Just like the COVID shit. You know, if people don't do their fucking research, then of course they're gonna make you take that fucking shot. But unless you go get locked up, or you're in some type of fucking psychological ward, or you're the ward of them, and they have fucking, you know, authority over you. Unless you're in a situation like that, you don't have to take that shit. And they can't threaten you with anything. You take them to court, and you'll beat that shit. You'll beat it. But if you don't take them to court, and you fucking let them bully you into taking that shit, eventually you're gonna fucking be so boosted up that they fucking put a patent on your fucking DNA. And they fucking own you, because now you got more of that bullshit in you than, you know. And that's documented that, you know, they can patent your DNA. If so much that shit takes over in your system. So they just ran everybody to the fucking slaughterhouse. Fucking ran you there. Fucking threaten you with your job. Threaten you with jail. And they couldn't have did any of that shit. Especially with the fucking, I mean, even with the How you gonna force somebody to take something that the people who created it, you know, are backing out of liability for anything that happens after fucking people have already had complications? Are you fucking out of your mind? You think I'm finna take that shit? You think you're finna threaten me? Like, I don't give a fuck if I had the best job in the motherfucking world. Like, we're going to court for this. We'll go to court. Especially, ain't no police taking that shit, and ain't no fucking military motherfuckers taking that shit. You gotta be out of your fucking mind. you got doctors. You know, you got doctors getting on saying don't take it and shit. Like, you're out of your mind. You're out of your fucking mind. And it's the same shit with this program, man. We just keep accepting it. Like, we could have probably been out of this shit so long ago. Years and years and years ago. Before I was even a TI. Before I was even a TI. Like, this program could have been shut the fuck down. It's like, the answer is right in our faces. And it's like, we're so fucking... I don't know what they got us so fucking MK Ultra or whatever the fuck that we don't even want to stand up for ourselves and shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, help me understand the situation, somebody. Like, are we that fucking MK Ultra that we don't want to fucking... Oh, wait, hold on. I have the target in the... Hey, what's going on? Netherlands? Yeah, man, like, are we so fucking brain fucking froze and fucked off in the head that we don't want to fight for ourselves? That, I mean, and I mean, with every fucking constitutional right put in place for us and shit, everything about this fucking program is domestic terrorism. And I'm not talking about murdering these people or nothing. Like, even with the legal shit, taking them to court, like, we're so afraid of them being able to prove that we're fucking crazy that we don't even want to take them to court. And it's like, we gotta organize, man. You know, find a tort lawyer or some shit, like, and present all our cases at once and show them the resemblance of our cases and shit. Like one at a time ain't gonna do shit. One at a time, one person isn't gonna fucking chip a fucking brick. We keep sitting on our asses, though. We're gonna find out the hard way. We're already finding out the hard way, but we're gonna continue as the fucking program advances and evolves. Who knows what's to come? Who knows what's to come to our families after we're gone? We love them so much that we're not doing anything because we don't want this fucking program to touch them. We don't want this program to touch them, but what happens when we're gone? You were tough and you could handle it. Let's see if your son can handle it. Let's see if your daughter can handle it. Cause now we have some type of fucking vendetta. You were supposed to break down way before you did. And you were strong enough to fucking, you know, last as long as you did. We're gonna take it out on your seed. We're gonna see if your seed can fucking last that long. That's the mindset these people have, man. That's the childish, the fucking They're very childish fucking beings, man. Sick and childish. Like, that's the worst fucking combination. To be a childish, fucking sick fucking piece of shit, man. A piece of shit with a childish mind is one dangerous motherfucker. Especially when they're in power. Or should I say in power of everybody else. Most people who are in power of everybody else can't even keep their own fucking households together. So worried about power, so worried about the addiction of power keeps them on the fucking job and fucking, you know, they don't want to see their fucking, they don't see their families, and the next thing you know, the wife is fucking having sex with the mailman and all types of shit. All types of shit. Just like they locked the fathers up. Just like they locked the fathers up in the ghetto and shit. Like, and the kids don't have time to, I mean, you know, the kids, you know, they can't be raised by their fathers because the other fathers get locked up and shit. Like, it's the same thing in the suburbs. It's just a different story. The father's not locked up. He's at work all fucking day rushing for power and trying to get power. And he's not there for the kids. And the kids end up fucking popping fucking oxycodones and oxycontins and shooting heroin and fucking, what do they call it? Becoming rebellious and shit. And we just fucking, you know, on our side of the fence, our fathers are in jail and we fucking, you know, take to doing drugs and fucking listening to fucking the entertainment, being raised by the entertainment industry and shit. Becoming all types of weird shit. Wearing dresses and trying to disguise them as long t-shirts and shit. Oh man, the manipulation of the government. Like in the government, it's all government. It's all government, man, pushing this shit on the people. Government and their fucking slave patrol, if you will. If anybody's writing any comments down, the last one is on the target in the Netherlands. Yep, here we go with the death threat. And it's gonna park right in front of me. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. That's all I really wanted for you guys. Like, you know, there's gonna maybe one day, like, the Lord will bless us with a great awakening between targeted individuals, and we will fucking, come together and fight this shit and stop sitting down on it. Not that we're sitting down on it like that, but really we are. Really we are, man. And that's just me, myself included. I'm not pointing no fingers. If we want to realistically, we could say, yeah, we're doing something, we're doing videos, we're helping each other out and all that shit. But yeah, that's something to lean on. That's a good crutch. That's something to lean on and be able to use as an excuse for fucking some more decades to come. Try and convince ourselves that that's enough. That eventually some fucking magic reporter is gonna come along, or some fucking great savior like a president is gonna come along, or the mayor, or whoever the fuck come along and save the day and shit. But who the fuck knows? We got fucking Biden as fucking president right now. Ain't no time like that finna be coming anytime soon. And if people are stupid enough to vote him in for another 4 years, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy. We ain't got nothing coming. And that's just realistically speaking and shit. This motherfucker too worried about touching on children to even think about helping us and shit. Fucking drink child's blood and all that weird fucking shit. You ain't trying to help us. You can't even find that motherfucker. That motherfucker is missing in action. And when they tell him, hey, the people, they want to, the people are starting to talk. He'll pop out and say, oh, we're doing such and such and such, or we're gonna help Ukraine, or I'm getting people so many jobs, and all this fucking bullshit. Those jobs ain't from you, motherfucker. Those are jobs that fucking Trump started. Like, those are jobs that fucking, those are jobs that fucking, Trump signed in, and you fucking, you just passed them and then you kept them, pushed them through. Like, that's nothing that you came up with, motherfucker. Now you're just fucking giving people fucking domestic terrorist jobs and shit. Which they've been doing it and shit. But yeah, man. It's a good crutch though, ladies and gentlemen. And fuck it, man. I'm with you guys, man. I'm with the TI community. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever you guys come to fucking, I'm with 100%. All this shit. We could fucking crutch this shit all the way out. Fuck it. But we're gonna keep dying. We're gonna keep killing these people. And it's like a war. It's literally a fucking war and shit. That they are fucking. It's a psychological war. And they have the fucking, not only a psychological war, because they're using weapons on us as well. So we just gotta know that this is shit that there's a high possibility that our family members after us are gonna fucking endure this shit. Cause if I can think, the way certain shit, just the way certain shit, I think about the situations in my family to where, even from the foster homes to all the shit, how the shit went down and shit. How certain fucking things happened as a child, like, going through this program. I can see, like, there were family members before me that were targeted, like, hands down. You used to wonder, like, certain shit. And to think, like, one of my uncles, he died, like, mysteriously. One of my uncles, he had died mysteriously. They wouldn't tell us what happened to him. It took them, like, 2 years to fucking tell us what happened to him. Like, they wouldn't even fucking, tell us what happened to him. They fucking withheld the body for hella long. Like, they wouldn't even let, family members come fucking, they had him for hella long and didn't even let us fucking know that, he was dead or anything. They just fucking had him. They knew who he was and all that shit. They fucking had him and fucking wouldn't tell us shit. And then when they did tell us, they didn't tell us how it happened. They didn't tell us what happened. They didn't let nobody fucking come see the fucking body till, like, hella long. And, like, by then, it's just a fucking picture. You can't come view no fucking body after so long. Like, that shit's inhumane. Like, you can't fucking, so, they show the fucking picture and shit. Like, that's how fucking long it took him to fucking tell anybody that he was fucking dead and shit. And then, they try, after so long, they try and tell us it was a fucking heart attack and shit. Like, that's fucking bullshit. At the very least, you motherfuckers beat him to death and shit. Like, you fucking beat him and shit, because he used to be like, as a kid. Oh, shit, man. As a kid, man, he, like, before we went to, like, foster homes and shit, like, he was like a fucking, the police did not like him. All his mugshots and shit, like, he used to fucking be fucking, like, goofing off in his, and back then, like, literally, like, well, I think my mom has him now. My grandma used to have all his mugshots and shit, like, from when he got locked up, and back then you had to, you had to carry that, you had to hold that plate. There was a plate that you held in front of you, and fucking, they put all the fucking number. It wasn't all digital and shit. Like, you had a little plate with numbers and shit on it that you held up in front of the camera. And he used to fucking goof off in front of that shit. Like, he used to make funny face. Like, all his mug shots weren't fucking mug. They were like fucking clown shots and shit. Like, he would goof off in the mug shot. Like, he used to get a police a hard fucking time and shit. Like, literally, like, I remember, like, the police used to fucking, the police used to fucking come to the house and shit. I was probably like 7 years old. The police used to come, and they used to, like, my uncle would be hiding behind the door in the fucking closet. The police would come and shit. My grandma would be like, "Nah, he's not here." He'd be listening to all the shit that they're saying. They'd be lying, like, well, he said they were lying and shit. They'd be lying to try and get my grandma to fucking tell him where he was and shit. Like, just hellish shit, man. Hellish shit. And the way, like, it's crazy how that shit happened too, cause like my grandma died, then my uncle died, probably like within a year, all three, like within 1 year, or probably a year and a half, two of my uncles died and my grandma died, which was really fucking crazy, and that shit, that shit's kind of weird to me. My uncle owned the church. The last one that died owned the church, or he was a preacher at a church down here. I don't know where all that came from, but I think just saying, like, there's family members and shit before us that were targeted, and it's only obvious that family members after us will as well. Until whatever generation breaks that cycle, we can be the generation to break the cycle, or we can be the generation that's a part of breaking the cycle. Like, we're definitely a part of it. We're definitely a foothold in it. But, as far as what we're doing, we're not breaking shit. We're going to continue to be in the same situation. Which is a good situation because we are helping each other out, but it's not the best situation because we're still suffering. We're still fucking suffering. But we are helping each other out, so, as long as this system doesn't fall out of place, then we're not, too fucked off. We're not as fucked off as we could be, but, we're definitely fucked off, ladies and gentlemen, until we fucking stand up and fucking do something about it. Until we fucking, and that's with anything. That's with nobody's gonna fucking look, the LGBTQ community, they didn't get their respect until they fucking started fucking standing up and shit. Like, they literally fucking, you gotta hold your hats off to them. Like, they put themselves in the position of power. Like, they fucking put themselves in a position of power. Like, and fucking, now they're fucking, like, you can't say shit about it. Like, you can't even fucking, you say the wrong thing, your ass is getting locked up. And you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, just like we're going through this shit, like, man, they will fuck up your life, man. They will fuck your whole fucking life. Oh, man, you look at all those fucking, you look at all those rappers and shit that have fucking been fucking, oh, man, you gotta watch yourself, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of rappers on TV right now trying to defend themselves. Oh, shit, man. This is what it's come to. This is what it's come to, and, we're either gonna get with the program fight for our motherfucking right, or we can sit on idle and just help each other, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Helping each other is always a good thing. one of the best things about fucking making the videos, if not the best thing. Actually, it is the best thing. You know. Probably even better than fighting to get it off. Nah, I wouldn't say fighting. It's up there. It's like right next to it. They're side by side. Like there's not one better than the other. Like, but ain't nothing gonna get done unless they're both implemented. Like Voltron or some shit. You gotta put that shit together. You gotta join the pieces to the puzzle in order for anything to get done. And that goes for me as well, man. These motherfuckers cook and fucking fry my fucking dogs every day. I mean, they're doing it to me, but my fucking dogs catch that fucking hell as well. So, and I'm on idle making fucking videos. Eventually, you just never know what happens until it fucking happens. And when it happens, it's too late. When it fucking happens, it's too late. And then you ask yourself, man, as you're sitting in that situation, how in the fuck did I let it get to this, man? If I would've just fucking gave myself 2 more minutes to think about it. Look at the fucking MP3. Motherfuckers trying to get us to hear them, get their attention. Why you looking over here, you little homosexual? No offense to gay people or anything. Goofballs, I hate them. Government informants. They call themselves the Watchers, the Protectors, the Protectors, the Rabble Rousers. Yup. These people are allowed to fucking cause all the havoc in. Oh wait, let me make sure I'm not reading here. Hey, what's going on, lovely lady? Hope all is well. Yeah, we gotta fight for our right, ladies and gentlemen. Our right to survive as fucking human beings. Hope everybody's doing good. I hope that didn't sound too negative and shit. Like I wasn't trying to sound negative. It's just like there's too much shit happening right now, man. There's a lot of shit happening. A lot of it has to do with this targeting and shit. And us being fucking wrongly accused of shit. Our character being assassinated. And these people, they're able to fucking get away with that shit. Not only are they able to get away with this shit, but they continue to fucking do it no matter how serious the fucking kickbacks of this fucking program is. Like, they continue. You know, when you start talking about death as far as murder and suicide, you know, you can't get no more serious than that. Like, and I know we know the seriousness. We know the seriousness of this shit. But it just seems like we're not taking it at face value. Like, we're going along to get along. Hey, even though it's slowly killing me, because it's slowly killing me, I don't have the urgency to fight like I would as if it was like burning me, like if I was burning on fire or fucking drowning and shit. Like my will to fight would be fucking stronger as far as fucking, saving my life. But as long as they're just zapping me with fucking frequencies that I can't feel, or even that I can feel, but it's not no fucking major pain to where I have an urgency to fight. That's where we're at. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna start another live in about